I just did not expect the film to really make the Eternals' interior conflict the main thing. Hey, let's talk about Eternals. Alright guys, I am Keegan and this is your Eternals review. Now I just saw Eternals and I will start with a non-spoiler review. I loved it. I thought it was a huge swing for Marvel, and I have criticized them a lot recently for playing it safe with a lot of things, and I thought that they really let Chloe Zhao tell the story that she clearly wanted to tell, and I thought that her story about humanity was entirely unexpected, hoped for, but unexpected that it was done with the sincerity and the complexity that it was. Sure, there were a couple of little things that could have been a little bit more nuanced. There's like little Marvel pet peeves I have about the film, but other than that, the cast was fantastic, with the standouts being, if you did not know about Barry Keoghan, you sure as heck do now. So, Barry Keoghan plays Druig. He's one of the Eternals, and I know him from Killing of a Sacred Deer as well as Chernobyl and Dunkirk, but hopefully this is going to be the start of a lot more Barry Keoghan projects. And then you have Kumail Nanjiani. Some of you may know him from Silicon Valley. I knew him from The Big Sick, and where he won my heart. Some of you also might know him from his stand-up things. And Kumail is an incredibly talented actor, and he just nails it in this regard. But the real champ is clearly Gemma Chan. I mean, she just was tranquility personified. She was peace. She was complexity. And there was something about her that was just so innocent but loving and true, and you could just feel it. I mean, Angelina Jolie, whew, I mean, come on. Like, she just, it was so cool to see her just being a badass. I really want to get into some spoilers, so I'm going to in a second, but just, guys, you need to see it. Here's the thing. If you go into it expecting Shang-Chi, I think you're going to be disappointed. This isn't really an action movie. This barely has any action. It has some fighting in it, but it doesn't have that. But it does have the same world building and character building that Shang-Chi had. I loved it for that. I think that Eternals really just did something incredible for Marvel. I really think that this film is unjustly being criticized. I think that I want to read more of the reviews right now. The fact that people did not like this movie, I can see why. Because I think it's not for everybody. I think this is one of the few Marvel movies that was made with a very specific intention. If you like thoughtful films, I think you're going to like this movie. Now, not to say that other Marvel properties haven't been thoughtful or things like that. I think that a lot of them have been, but just not where that's the forefront. And the action takes a back seat to that. And it was really reassuring to see it. And that's why I thought Eternals just really worked, was because it knew what it was and it had something to say. It's been a long time since that's kind of happened. Now, of course, now it has to tie into the rest of the MCU fully. I'm not sure how they're going to do that, I'll be honest. But I am excited to see it. And these are characters that I am so excited to see return. Now, because I can't avoid spoiling it any longer, I'm going to go into a spoiler review. If you guys don't want to be spoiled, leave. Love you guys. You guys are fantastic. But let's talk about it in spoiler details. Guys, I just did not expect the film to really make the Eternals' interior conflict the main thing. That was just what I was, because guys, here's the thing. I had heard great things about the Eternals before it had come out, and then I got really hyped about it, but then all the negative reviews were coming out, and I was feeling real stupid for getting very excited about this movie. That's my honest thing, is I felt like, oh, did I just get all hyped up on the wrong movie? Oh no, am I just going to be set up for disappointment? And I'm glad I wasn't. I'm really glad, like, one of the scenes that when I saw it in the trailer that I was like, oh, I hope they really use that as an emotional moment was the Hiroshima scene. When Brian Tyrese Henry is on the ground and he's like, I allowed this to happen. And him just saying, I'm done. Now, I did think it was really interesting that that was kind of correlated with him having a family. And I think it would have been interesting to see that those moments a little bit split apart, where it would have been nice to find out that that's part of the reason why certain people left. And then we find out that he has a family, and it's like, okay, where's his head out now? Where's his head at? But Barry Keoghan, oh, guys, I've been wanting Barry Keoghan to get something that makes him more well known, and I thought Dunkirk was going to do it, but he had a minor part in Dunkirk, and that wasn't quite doing it. I thought Chernobyl was going to do it, but clearly we're not talking about him. This, I think, will finally do it. Same thing with Kumail, who I think was a little bit more mainstream at this point, but still, like, everybody was perfect. Everybody was perfect. I thought Angelina Jolie, this was one of her best performances that I've seen in a long time. She had an earnesty, an honesty, and a vulnerability while being, you know, the group badass. I think that, I don't know, I just think that there's something to Chloe Zhao's, she knew how to take what Marvel had to offer and do something with it. And I hope that this is a change going forward, because this is just such a great step in the right direction. I mean, I love the ending too. I love the scenes where you're seeing how subtly they had placed Gemma Chan in all of the past sequences. She's always there. She's in it with these people. She is in the circle dancing. She is braiding their hair. She is like this Mother Nature type character that's just this, I love these people. And Salma Hayek, oh, she was so good. I was surprised that they killed her off in the beginning. I was like, I just, wow. Like, I thought it was great, and I thought Gilgamesh, as much as I freaking loved Gilgamesh, his power, just, the guy just was this honking mass of, like, whoo. And just him and Angelina Jolie, man, that's a couple right there. That is a couple. And Richard Madden, don't know how I feel about him, because I love Richard Madden. I loved him in Game of Thrones, loved him in Rocket Man, loved him in 1917, loved him in everything. And I thought his character was really used well. And I thought his twist was interesting. I didn't see it coming, felt like I should have, but I liked how they made the emotional part of it, where he saw what he did wrong. I'm not sure about him flying into the sun and killing himself that way. I really don't know if I needed that, but hey, we're there. Because I thought his performance was great. It felt like it was nuanced, but not in the way that everybody else's was. And I love Richard Madden. It's just one of those things where I don't even know how I fully feel about it. Maybe I'll think about it. Maybe I'll do a separate video about it, because Richard Madden deserves his own video. That's a future Keegan thing. But man, let's talk about those end credit scenes. Now, I obviously got it spoiled, thanks Variety, that Harry Styles is in the movie. And the fact that he was going to play Thanos' brother. I did think it was really interesting that he kind of plays this little frat boy kind of version of this prince. But I mean, Harry Styles, to play that character, sign me up. Like, that, if that's the interpretation you're going with this character, that is perfect. And I'm just interested to see, I need to do more research, because I don't know much about the comics in that regard. The thing that surprised the hell out of me, that wasn't spoiled for me, thank God, was the Blade reference at the end. Now, I could be wrong, but Kit Harington going for that sword, which looked very demonic, very, vampiric, so to speak. And it's very clear that Kit Harington's character in the comics is like a medieval knight, and I don't know the full backstory of that character. Might go to Screen Rant after this, or Screen Junkies, or New Rock Stars, most likely, to hear more about that, because I just thought that was a little bit different. But then when you hear Mahershala Ali's voice, I mean, like that, when they announced that at Comic-Con, that Mahershala Ali is playing Blade. And if Kit Harington's going to be in Blade, King of the North, I did feel that it was funny that Robb Stark once again dies. I guess I'll tell you the one thing that I don't know how I'm going to feel when they start incorporating these characters into the MCU as a whole. I also thought that this would have made a better series than it did a movie. I think that if they made a 6-8 episode miniseries about the Eternals, I think they may have had more time. They could have played around with pacing. You could have done flashback episodes dedicated purely to this stuff. I think that now that Disney is getting into that, I think they should have taken a look at the Eternals and said that this is a property that we want to make a show, not a movie. But don't get me wrong, I liked the movie. I just liked it so much that I wish it was longer, and thus had more time to flesh out some things that clearly they had thought through. Going back to all of this stuff, I don't know how they're going to put the Eternals in the MCU as a whole, and I do agree with people talking about, like, it does make the Infinity Saga look like small bananas. It does, but I think that was the point. And I don't think it even invalidates. It just talks about, like, it just kind of puts everything in perspective. And I'm just really excited because knowing that there are other Eternals, that they're not the only ones, that there are others out there like, I think Eros was a Eternal. I am interested to see what's going to happen there. And I thought the ending was really powerful with her just getting sucked away. And I'm like, where'd they go? But guys, I'm going to be talking about Eternals for a while. I have a feeling like I'm very excited about this movie. I think that I hope more people see it. I know that Marvel Studios is proud of this film, and they should be, because it's just incredible. And I loved it. Chloe Zhao, thank you for this movie, because at the end of the day, as you guys will come to know, I'm all about films that make me feel something, and this movie did. But it wasn't jerking me around. It wasn't doing anything like that. It actually just made me think, and took a hard look at the good and the bad of humanity, but in a way that's not cynical, in a way that is honest and real, all through the point of view of superheroes. And I mean, that's what this stuff is for. That's what it's for. But anyway, guys, please follow me at Keegan Luther on Instagram, as well as at movie_man_opinions on TikTok. Thank you so much for tuning in, and hey, let's watch something together.
Oh, hi, I didn't see you there. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please like and subscribe, and check out some of these Totally Not Randomly Chose videos. I mean, I think you'll like that one. I don't know, just right there.